This evening, police investigating alleged murder of Sir Mars. Suspects crashed vehicle they allegedly stole from a taxi driver. One of the suspects died, another critical. Laborer remanded to prison on 9 charges after assaulting a police officer, while the businessman captured in the video of the assault was arrested at the airport. In the region, CHILE referendum, right-wing to dominate Constitutional Council. And internationally, Pakistan, at least 8 killed in flash floods, landslides. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for this May 8, 2023. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. We begin tonight's newscast with tragic news. Police are investigating the alleged murder committed on 51-year-old Kerwin Sion Mars, also known as Sir Mars, of New Settler Street, Mocha, East Bank, Demerara. The incident occurred around 10:30 last evening at Plantation Providence on the East Bank of Demerara by an unidentified male armed with a knife. Inquiries disclosed that Mars was the registered owner of a grey Mitsubishi RVR vehicle PZZ 6438. It is alleged that at the time of the incident, he was in the company of a male occupant and they proceeded to a street located at Plantation Providence on the East Bank of Demerara. Further investigations revealed that Mars and the suspect had a misunderstanding that escalated inside the vehicle. As a result, both parties armed themselves with knives and dealt each other wounds. Mars exited the vehicle and attempted to escape in an eastern direction. The suspect reversed the vehicle, hitting Mars and pinning him to a fence of a house on the street's eastern side. The suspect then exited the vehicle and escaped in a southern direction on foot. When the vehicle was removed, the lifeless body of Mars was seen with his face braced against the fence. He was pronounced dead at the scene. When investigators examined the body, there were lacerations to the face, head, hand, shoulder, and forehead, above the left eye, right side chest, and back. 2 knives were recovered from the Gardens funeral home. It is awaiting a post-mortem examination. Several persons in the area were contacted and interviewed as investigations are ongoing. In other news, police are investigating an alleged robbery under armed committed on Joel Williams, a 34-year-old taxi driver of Grove Squatting Area, East Bank, Demerara, who claimed that 2 men, one armed with a knife, robbed him of his burgundy-color Primo motor car bearing registration number HD 5621 on Sunday, May 7th. Investigations revealed that around 2:45 a.m., the victim went to Suicide Junction to purchase food, after which he was confronted by the 2 perpetrators, one of whom was armed with a knife. The one with the knife demanded that the victim hand over his car keys, which he did because he was scared for his life. The suspect then drove off with the car, heading in a northern direction towards Georgetown with the victim's car. The police were later alerted to a traffic incident involving the burgundy-color Primo motor car, which crashed into a utility pole at Land of Canaan, resulting in 1 dead and another critical at the Georgetown Public Hospital. Those identities are currently unconfirmed. Investigations are ongoing. Also making the headlines today, 30-year-old laborer Casey Edwards was earlier today remanded to jail when he appeared at the Sparina Magistrates Court charged with 9 offenses stemming from an incident in which he and another male allegedly assaulted a police officer over the weekend near Movitown at Turkine, Greater Georgetown. The charges against Edwards including assaulting the police officer, using abusive language, disorderly behavior, and traffic-related offenses. Edwards appeared before Magistrate Liverpool and pleaded not guilty to all the charges. The case was adjourned to May 17 for statements. Meanwhile, businessman Mark Anthony Cromwell, who was captured in the video battering the on-duty policeman, was arrested at the Ogle International Airport just after noon today. Cromwell was attempting to board a flight to Suriname to avoid similar charges. Stick around when we return. COVID-19 no longer a global health emergency, and Region 3 Mothers Union and West Demerara Hospital provide free medical services to over 50 persons.
It's the time of the year to show the mother figure in your life appreciation. And where is the best place to get great gift ideas? Clearance, of course. At clearance, we have a fantastic 2-day sale for mothers. 25% off ladies' clothing. Ladies' fashionable dresses in all sizes and styles. Jumpsuits, skirt suits and pantsuits. Ladies' dockers pants and tops. Dress pants. Designer handbags and a variety of fragrances. Designer shoes in different colors and sizes. Remember, this sale is for 2 days only. Friday the 12th and Saturday the 13th of May. Clearance, always keeping you in style.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. It's Credit, and today we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, five spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you wanna know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, dark seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in oil. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radica went to the supermarket and she papa buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. He shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hi, Mr. Smart. Please stop a minute and just clarify this thing for me.
Oh, Sonel, don't tell me it's local government questions again.
Yeah, boss. How come the local government elections different from the general elections?
Okay, the local government election systems allow for half of the members of the council to be elected through the proportional representation system, just like general elections. And the other half will be elected through the first past the post system. This system allows for one candidate to be elected to represent the constituency where he or she lives. For example, if a council got 30 seats, like the Georgetown municipality, 15 will be elected through the proportional representation system, and the other 15 will be elected through the first past the post system, giving a total of 30 councillors.
So that means that every constituency will have one of its citizens who live there having a seat and representing it at council.
Yes, Sunil, that's correct. And if you need to know anything else about the electoral system for local government elections, just call GCOM. Take care, Sunil.
All right.
Monday, June 12, 2023 is Local Government Elections Day. For further information, contact GCOM or visit the GCOM website at www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. The World Health Organization has declared that the COVID-19 pandemic no longer constitutes a global health emergency. Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, Director General of the World Health Organization, announced the decision during a media briefing on COVID-19 and the global health issue on Friday. He estimated that the pandemic killed at least 20 million people, nearly 3 times the official estimate. While the announcement was welcomed by the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, he reminded the public that the fight against COVID-19 is not over, as the disease has not been eradicated. Guyana has seen a significant decline in its COVID-19 cases and COVID-19 related deaths over the last few months, with only 8 active cases reported currently. However, Dr. Anthony emphasized the importance of being mindful of the symptoms of COVID-19 and the impact the disease can have on one's health, especially for those suffering from long COVID syndrome. He encouraged the public to get vaccinated to stay protected and prevent the severe form of the COVID disease. The Ministry of Health will continue administering vaccines across the 10 administrative regions. However, if anyone shows symptoms of COVID-19 or was in close contact with someone who tested positive, they are urged to visit any testing site in their region. Over 50 persons, including children, benefited from a medical outreach hosted by the Region 3 Mothers Union in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, West Demerara Regional Hospital on Saturday. The outreach was held at Parish Hall, Metamir-Zorg, West Coast Demerara, and is the second of its kind. These persons benefited from various free services, including blood pressure and blood sugar testing, ear, nose, and throat examination, physiotherapy, and free medication. A blood drive was also conducted simultaneously, considering the consistent need for blood in the healthcare system. West Demerara Regional Hospital Medical Outreach Coordinator Calvin Roberts applauded the Mothers Union for undertaking such a great initiative that is geared towards providing optimal healthcare services. He commended the collaboration and said he looks forward to future partnerships. The Mothers Union is a worldwide organization of Anglican churches, first launched in England in 1876. The organization aims to strengthen and preserve marriage and Christian life. It encourages persons to uphold Christ's teaching and the nature of marriage and promotes its wider understanding. The organization will celebrate its 97 years in service in a few days. Don't go away after the break. 5 years since US pulled out, Iran nuclear deal far from revival, and Pakistan at least 8 killed in flash flood landslides.
Miss Anne! Oh, hi, darling. Help me out with this thing, man. You just know everything. What's all this talk about local government election?
Local government refers to the mayor and councillors who manage the affairs of our towns, like Georgetown, and the chairman and councillors of the Neighborhood Democratic Council.
Oh, but why is that important to me?
Dolly, it is very important. Every day, local government officials make decisions that affect you, your family, and the community. They serve the people within the community in which they were elected.
Oh, Miss Anne, me don't understand all them big words you use there. Tell me what local government does do.
All right, darling. Local government is responsible for maintaining and protecting public property, like our community centers and the playgrounds, for collecting the garbage, maintenance of the streets, cleaning of the drains and the carpets, and so much more.
Oh, I now understand. Thanks, Miss Anne.
You're welcome.
I'm going to show off for me friends them why I will vote at the local government elections.
That's a good thing. Let's go.
Monday, June 12, 2023 is Local Government Elections Day. For further information, contact GCOM or visit the GCOM website at www.gcom.org.gy.
Good girl forget things. What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lenders Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. It's Credit, and today all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all of these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, five spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you want to know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, jerk seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radhika went to the supermarket and she proper buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. She shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
It's the time of the year to show the mother figure in your life appreciation. And where is the best place to get great gift ideas? Clearance, of course. At Clearance, we have a fantastic 2-day sale for mothers. 25% off ladies' clothing. Ladies' fashionable dresses in all sizes and styles. Jumpsuits, skirt suits and pantsuits. Ladies' dockers pants and tops. Dress pants. Designer handbags and a variety of fragrances. Designer shoes in different colors and sizes. Remember, this sale is for 2 days only. Friday the 12th and Saturday the 13th of May. Clearance, always keeping you in style.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. With more than 95% of the votes counted, the right-wing Republican Party is all set to dominate Chile's Constitutional Council as it grabbed the maximum seats in the recently held election. The new body will begin drafting a replacement constitution for the South American nation in June. Al Jazeera's Lucia Newman has more.
Replacing the constitution left behind by Chile's former military dictatorship is turning out to be much more difficult than anyone could have predicted. Chileans went back to the polls Sunday to elect a new constitutional council that they hoped would do a better job than the previous one, whose draft charter they rejected last September for being too radical.
We need to reach a balance, a consensus, so that everyone is happy with the results, unlike last time.
More equality, more modern rules, with a more modern vision of society in the Constitution. That's what I hope for.
But that's unlikely to happen. If the previous council was dominated by the far left, this time it will be under the control of the right and far right. Together they've clinched more than 30 of the 50 delegate seats, enough to pass any constitutional norm they propose on their own. Chile's Republican Party, the most conservative of all, will now be the leading political force. And their most voted candidate, Luis Silva, told me they've never wanted to replace the dictatorship-era constitution.
It is our starting point. This process allows us to introduce new aspects to it that we believe our constitution deserves. we can modernize fundamental rights like honor, privacy, internet issues, and measures to stabilize our political system.
The result could have been different, but 20% of votes were null or blank ballots, believed to have been cast mostly by progressive Chileans who were unhappy with the process. A team of legal experts appointed by Congress has already presented moderate proposals that include better recognition of social rights, such as education, healthcare, and pensions. But these can be modified or rejected by the new body. The Council will have a very short time to draft the Charter, only 4 months. Then it will be put to the vote again in a referendum on December 17th. Should the text be found wanting, Chile will have lost the last opportunity for a long, long time to finally eliminate the last important symbol of its former military dictatorship. And it would be an irony, particularly this year, as Chile commemorates the 50th anniversary of the coup that gave birth to the constitution that so many find illegitimate. Lucia Newman, Al Jazeera, Santiago.
Internationally, Pakistan's government has warned the country cannot cope with another flooding disaster. It follows days of flash floods and landslides, which have killed at least 8 people and injured more than 100. Al Jazeera's Osama bin Javed reports.
Submerged once again. After months of floods ravaged Pakistan last year, residents and business owners in the north are suffering again and bracing for more rainfall.
Due to the recent heavy rain and floods, we have lost millions of rupees. My hotel building is badly damaged.
Tourism in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province was badly damaged in 2022 and many roads and bridges were destroyed. And in the last few weeks, the largest province, Balochistan, has been hit by hailstorms and flash floods, cutting off roads and destroying crops and jobs, as well as grain needed for the coming year. They've also made life harder for people living in tents after last year's floods destroyed their homes.
I'm going to categorically say that the country cannot cope with another freak event. It has been a catastrophic last year, and people are still rebuilding in those areas, particularly the south of the country, Sindh and Balochistan. To say that, we will be able to create adaptation structures while going through other extreme events is very tough. So no, we hope that there is no extreme weather, but as you know, hope is not a plan.
But the country's also been facing heat waves and lack of water for irrigating crops. The United Nations blames climate change for the extreme weather and says more than 8 million Pakistanis are facing food shortage crisis. With unpredictable rains and rapidly melting glaciers, Pakistan is fast becoming a global hotspot for climate crisis.
We are on a thin ice and the ice is melting very fast. UN as a thought leader is assisting the government and the people of Pakistan to develop an overall vision of climate adaptation.
Erratic temperatures and unusual rains are creating other problems, like these locusts that emerged in the last few weeks in some districts of Balochistan. The situation is on track to become worse unless Pakistan's climate emergency becomes a priority for its decision makers. Osama bin Javed, Al Jazeera.
Large areas.
And finally, it has been 5 years since the United States withdrew from the nuclear deal with Iran under former President Donald Trump. Since then, Tehran's nuclear program has progressed rapidly. Officials maintain they are willing to return to the agreement if the U.S. government holds up its end of the bargain. Al Jazeera's Mike Hanna has more.
The Iran deal was regarded as Barack Obama's signature international achievement. Iran met its preliminary pledges. The US, the EU and the United Nations responded by repealing or suspending sanctions. But the deal didn't survive a change of administration in the US.
The fact is, this was a horrible, one-sided deal that should have never, ever been made. It didn't bring calm, it didn't bring peace, and it never will.
Among the consequences was an upsurge in social unrest in Iran as crippling sanctions were reintroduced. But throughout all of this, Iran resumed a robust nuclear program, starting to enrich 60% uranium and moving closer to achieving weaponized nuclear capacity.
we are now in a situation in which during the JCPOA, Iran would need at least a year to be able to amass the material for a single nuclear weapon. Right now, it has enough material for 5, and it only needs about 10 days to enrich that material to weapons grade levels.
During his presidential campaign, Joe Biden pledged to reinstate the Iran deal, along with several other international treaties that the Trump administration had walked away from. Immediately after assuming office, President Biden used executive orders to return the US to the Paris Agreement and the World Health Organization. He could have rejoined the Iran deal in exactly the same way, but chose not to. He sent his Secretary of State to repair relations with allies ruptured during the Trump era, but restoring US participation in the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action did not appear to be on the agenda, although the aim of preventing Iran from developing its nuclear capacity was. The single Trump administration deal backed by Biden are the Abraham Accords, a series of treaties normalizing diplomatic relations between Israel and its Arab neighbors, including the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain. It is intent on bringing Saudi Arabia to the table as well, relying on one critical factor. Like all the signatories to the Abraham Accords, Saudi Arabia has a strong antipathy towards Iran. While there have been recent signs of rapprochement between the two countries, this dislike is very much the glue that holds this NATO in the Gulf together, as is the opposition to the JCPOA. It's a fact that the Biden administration is well aware of, as it seeks to finish building a US supporting alliance in the Gulf. Any US return to the Iran deal would imperil this process, so effectively a choice has been made. Mike Hanna, Al Jazeera, Washington.
This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's Safe TV 2 headline news for this Monday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can also tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast and in the evening at 7 for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.